Yes, ma'am.
Welcome back. Yes, ma'am. It is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso on S3. Now, if you are looking for an affordable meal inspiration, we've got you covered, because with the Woolies W-List quality products, you can dish up flavorful recipes using your essential veggies and ingredients. And that is why we have Chef Clem in studio to prepare a tantalizing spicy cabbage hash brown paired with a perfect crispy fried egg that will leave you craving more. You know that whenever I go for breakfast, I always ask for an extra hash brown, but I say brownie, and then people are like, but I meant a hash brown.
Okay, have you ever gotten a brownie with it?
No,
Like
no. Just a normal hash brown. Which
I love
hash
browns.
Oh, me too.
And I think it's a great way to show off vegetables. We usually use potato, like we're going to do today, but you can use things like butternut and pumpkin and any other root veg really works well with this dish. And then I like the fact that cabbage is coming in. And I know that cabbage has like a stereotype where people are like, what's the official meat of January? Cabbage. But I love cabbage, and when you treat it right, it becomes something really special.
And it maintains its shape.
It does.
So it's quite firm.
And that's why I like cabbage so much. It goes to that texture of that like crunch that you get, and this is a good example in this dish. So what we got is we've got some potato, and it's been grated. Now potato contains a lot of moisture, so what you're gonna want to do is get a clean tea towel, put all the grated potato in there, and wring it out.
Get that moisture out.
You don't want too much of that moisture. It's gonna start boiling, and you don't want that to happen.
Okay, so Chef Clem, I know you want to jump straight into this recipe, but I did mention the Woolworths W-List.
Yeah.
Now that is where you get a whole bunch of great deals together. Is that correct?
It is, and more than just deals, it's prices that are set for everyday South Africans, those essentials that we know we need in our basket and at home, they are on their official essential Woolies W-List price every day. So it's not a special, it's every day, which I love. That's consistency, and you know how to build your basket for the week ahead.
And you know how to budget.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. Budgeting and planning ahead is a great way on how you actually save money. I was very bad in the beginning of this year. I did not plan my meals, I did not budget, and I actually looked at my food bill and it was silly. Planning ahead is the best way to actually budget and save money when it comes to food, and that's how you do it.
And also save food. You don't want to waste, because so often you go through the store, you're like, oh, this looks interesting. Oh, this looks interesting. You didn't plan ahead, and you actually bought more groceries than you need for that week.
Exactly. And if you're in store and you are trying to spot the W-List items, it's the beautiful little W orange square, and you'll see them in the aisles. That just lets you know that these are W-List items. And it's amazing. They really are some of South Africa's favorite brands and loved essentials, all on the W-List. So go and check it out. Something smoking.
Fantastic.
That's fine. It's okay.
Okay, now let's jump into this recipe, because these are some of the staples you can find off the W-List.
And there's so many ways that you can take these exact ingredients and turn it into other dishes.
Okay.
So this is one of them. So we're going to get our potato, get that in there. I'm going to make a little smaller one now, but you go and check out the recipe. We got the recipe for you for all the quantities.
There we go. It is available at taste.co.za. Chef Clem coming in, breaking an egg with one hand.
With one hand. Okay, then to that, we're going to start adding some flavors. So let's go salt. Very, very, very important. Potatoes also love salt. But actually, don't go too hectic, because I've got a little surprise coming up. Black pepper, all of it.
All of the black
I've got
pepper.
a thing about black pepper in 2024. There's no such thing as too much black pepper.
Okay.
I'm sure there is. But at the moment, I'm just loving the flavor of black pepper.
It's just not ruining the senses.
No, it's helping. Sinuses. Okay, ginger going in. We're gonna get a little bit of flour, and that's gonna be the binder. The flour and the egg is gonna help bring it together. Then we're gonna go gochujang.
Ooh.
A fermented Korean chili paste. It's not hot. It's like, how's it, how you there, hot.
Okay. It's not gonna make you wanna whip out a tissue and start cleansing
not at
your
all.
sinuses. But this must also be packed with flavor, because sometimes you want the flavor but not the burn.
That's it. That's exactly what, and you can smell. It smells like there's a little bit of like fermentedness happening, and there's like a deep, like red pepper flavor, and it's got a little bit of salt in it, so that's why I didn't add too much salt. What are we missing? Cabbage. Can I ask you if you can do like a where you hold the end of the tip of the knife down, like such, and then do a
Oh, do that.
to give you some nice texture in there. While you're doing that, I'm gonna mix this up.
Okay, so we're not actually using the actual cabbage slice and just frying it. We're using it shredded.
You actually could. I mean, if I'm doing a smaller one, what I do is I like to chop the pieces a little finer, so it actually cooks down and wilts a little quicker.
That's your fault, yeah.
It is my fault.
Sorry.
So but if I'm making a bigger one, we would use like a bigger cast iron pan. Why am I smoking a pan handle? It's fine. It's okay.
Ooh, our flame's too big, that's why.
It's too big. Which is so awesome. Then what I do is if I'm making a giant one, a bigger one, I'll keep the cabbage a little more whole because I know it's going to take longer to cook. That way the cabbage will become softer.
Okay, so I had to shred this for you.
You're doing an amazing job there. I'm mixing this in. Potatoes looking good. So like I said, I'm making a baby one.
Okay, we're making miniature ones.
A mini one.
Cook
Okay,
quickly.
cool. Can I grab?
Go for it.
So you're going to get that. Get it in here. What else?
How much of this do you need? I've given you 2 slices.
You know that it's going to cook down, so you can add more than what you think you need. I would totally add more. And then once it, like that, yes. Once you get it all mixed in, all you're going to do is add a little more potato. There we go. And you're just going to pack it into your little pan. Oh, of course you need oil. Even though we're using a non-stick pan, a little bit of oil goes a long way. I'm going to use coconut.
Okay, we're just using a little bit of coconut oil.
Yeah, just a little bit. You don't need much. And it doesn't need to be screaming hot like this. So you know it's going to take about like 10 minutes to cook. So turn the heat down a little bit.
Okay, because our pan's really, really hot. Chef Clem, when do you opt for coconut oil? When should you go for olive oil, normal oil? Is it a health thing or is it a preference? Is it a taste thing?
For me, if I know I'm going to be cooking something at a higher heat for a longer period of time, I don't go for olive oil.
Okay.
Number one, you're wasting money because olive oil is not cheap. And number two, you're going to get a little bit of that flavor coming through the olive oil, but it's not
It's burning away.
Yeah, and it's kind of burning away. So I prefer using a seed oil or using coconut oil, that type of job.
So that handles the heat a bit better.
Yes. Plus, coconut oil does give you, I mean, I don't know if you smelt it, but as soon as I put that coconut oil into the pan, you get that tropical coconut scent coming through. So that's a great time to use. You know what? That spring onions are supposed to go into your hash browns. It's now going to become a garnish.
So it's now the garnish. Okay.
So that's when I'm doing high heat, when I'm doing a longer cooking period, I go for like the coconut oil. And also, obviously, if I'm doing like Asian food or curries, a little bit of coconut flavor is delicious. This is going to cook. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. So the way that you know it's almost done is when you pull away the sides, you can start seeing it brown at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you're good. So to this pan, the little pan, I don't need the coconut oil because I love Szechuan oil.
Szechuan oil, which is this one here with the little sesame seeds inside.
So I like to shake it, but sometimes if I don't want the seeds, you'll see they all flow to the bottom.
Okay.
And you can just get straight oil.
Okay.
So all you're going to do, you're going to pop that into the pan.
Some Szechuan oil.
Szechuan. So Szechuan's got a characteristic that it kind of makes your mouth a little numb.
Okay.
And I like food that fights back. So like spice and heat and food that you have to use your hands to like kind of work around the food. And Szechuan that kind of makes your mouth numb. So I love using that. We're going to get that in there.
And we're going to fry an egg in our Szechuan oil.
In the Szechuan oil. It is so delicious. It is so good. Touch of salt. There we go. You can see these are the little hashies that we made earlier. You've got, I think that's a mayonnaise. Maybe we just do like a toasted sesame, keep some of it, and mix some sesame through the mayo. I think just kind of mix it up. That's not part of the recipe. We're just switching things up.
We're switching things up. We've got some here.
And what's pretty cool is
sesames.
These little pans from the festive season. We have so many in the studio.
Yes.
If you make little individual ones, it is so cool. Everybody gets a little tiny little individual pan with a hash brown with the egg on top. I feel like breakfast is one time when we don't have time to actually make it like special. But if, on the weekend, this is how you do it. And this dish is quite substantial on its own, that it's not just good for breakfast. I love this dish for dinner.
Oh.
Come on,
so
eggs.
I struggle to eat eggs for dinner. I don't know what it is. I eat eggs only for breakfast. It's a stretch for me to eat an egg at lunchtime. If I have to boil it, I'll have it. But I don't know what it is. I have a mental block about eating eggs for dinner.
I had a conversation with a chef this week, and we spoke about what we ate when we were young chefs, or even chefs today. After a long day in the restaurant, what do we eat? Cornflakes.
Cornflakes.
Cornflakes. Everybody expects us to be like doing prime rib and lobster for dinner as chefs. No, cornflakes. This is an absolute treat. This is a good one. The way that the yolk is still runny becomes like a sauce on its own, mixed with that mayo. The crispiness of the cabbage, the potato goes super fluffy in the middle, cooks all the way through, and then you get that, not heat again, but that extra flavor coming through from the gochujang. And like I said, we did this all using the Woolies W list, and it's amazing how we can turn this into something completely new just by being a little creative.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, you can shop everyone's range at Everyday Value every day for the year with the Woolworths Everyday W list. Now, this recipe that Chef Clem made is available at taste.co.za. Chef Clem, we are going to put it out there. Any of the presenters that can bring their own knife and fork is welcome to come and taste. How's that?
Do they come with their own knife and fork?
If they can bring their own knife and fork, they can come and taste.
That's coming out. That's what I do.
So
Thank you. Could you present the food to me, Chef Clem? By the way, Are you, man?
Hey.
Okay.
So, Mr. Wasty, what I've made for you today...
Yes, please.
Actually, that's a pet peeve, eh? Those cooking competitions. What I've made for you today... Oh, anyway.
No, they say we. And you are one person.
We, exactly.
What we
have made for you is a spicy cabbage and potato hash brown, spiced with gochujang, topped with a Szechuan fried egg, topped with hand-cut by Zoe... spring onions.
Spring onions. And a mayo and sesame mayo.
Thank you so much. Let me just have a taste. What I'm going to do, I'm going to allow the yolk to cascade upon the beautiful hash brown. I'm going to do that, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the yolk.
Yes.
And that there. And then I'm going to taste. Hold on, another pet peeve for cooking shows. Eye contact while they taste.
Oh, that's so weird. Okay. How does it taste?
You know what?
What?
This may be the most incredible dish, but not a dish that I would make for myself, which means it's better, but in the worst way, but at the same time, fantastic, just not by my standards.
Is that a
really
compliment?
good. But just not on Mondays. Right, beautiful.
Whoa, okay, let's turn the stove off. Even the stove is dancing to
I'm
that
just saying.
comment.
Another pet peeve when they don't know where you stand.
Exactly, back and
judging.
forth. Do I bloody get the apron or not?
Yes, do you get the apron? You don't.
But this is a good one. I'm telling you, me as a meat eater, I do not miss the meat in this dish at all. I suppose it's the cabbage that takes up that role and it delivers. This is a goodie. It's a goodie. And you can make it in like a really short time at home. The family gets really into it. As you can see what's happening. 1 plate, 2 forks.
Where can I get this recipe?
Check it out on Taste's website, which is www.taste.co.za. Is that the website?
That is the website. This is
Sorry.
absolutely delicious. I'm a fan of the cabbage hash brown. Cabbage hash brown. Yes, it's the type of food that will make you dance. And remember, if you want to shop your everyday essentials from the W list, you can do so online on the Woolies app as well as in store. This is good. I'm gonna have one more piece.
Bravo.